العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ثم أما بعد. We talked last week about the faults of the tongue and how we should control our tongue. We talked about the excessive talks, and we talked about talking about things that do not concern us, كلام فيما لا يعني. And today we'll talk about one of these problems. One of the harms of the tongue is that al-mira' wal-jidal. Al-mira' and al-jidal means that when you listen to someone speaking, then you criticize him and try to find some mistakes in his words. And some people like very much to do this out of arrogance or out of envy. They just want to show that the speaker does not know what he's talking about, and I have more knowledge than you in this. One of the harms of the tongue that we often or sometimes we do our practice. When you see someone speaking about something, then you have to find something wrong in what he says for the sake of just either showing off or trying to put him down. And this mira' and jidal, as you can see, reflects an illness in the heart and also causes a lot of animosity and hatred. You are sitting in the meeting and you are speaking about something and someone tells you, no, you're wrong, that's not correct. Or you make a mistake in the grammar. And that is, in Arabic was like a very big thing to make a linguistic mistake in the old days, not now. Everybody makes mistakes now. That was a big thing, right? And if you keep picking on the mistakes the person made while speech, so either the grammar or the pronunciation or the content, the ideas that you want to highlight. And of course, nobody likes this to happen to him, right? I'm not suggesting in any way that we should not be critical. Critical thinking is important. Every time we listen to a khutbah or a speech or lecture, then you don't have to believe in everything. So you have to use your mind and you have to be critical, to ask for the sake of seeking knowledge. You know, it happens all the time when the speaker gives a speech or a good lecture, and then people ask questions related to the subject for the sake of clarification or learning. That's absolutely good. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, asking the right question is half of knowledge. Brother, where is Brother Shakil? Okay. Brother Shakil, if you are here. Okay. That's okay. Half of the knowledge is to ask good questions. But asking questions just to show off or to show that the speakers made a mistake, or say, no, you said this, but that's wrong. That's not right. And it's better actually to remain silent when someone makes mistakes, linguistic mistakes or pronunciation, or maybe he made a mistake, but this mistake is not like you have to correct every mistake that you hear about. That's called al-mira'. Al-mira', always disagree, even sometimes over silly things, not necessary things. People sometimes make big fuss about which team is better or which candidate is better, and always they keep raising any disagreement. They try to find any disagreement to argue about. We don't have to, unless someone is making a big false mistake and wrong statement about Islam or Deen, then we have to correct it. But I'm talking about those who always like to attend meetings or they always like to show others are ignorant and they don't know what they're talking about, and he is more knowledgeable. And that's called jidal. And jidal for no reason. Just the only reason is showing off and putting down others. And the Prophet ﷺ said, أنا زعيم ببيت في الجنة لمن ترك الجدال ولو كان محقا. Leave jidal or argument or debating, even if you are right. If you're absolutely right, and this person is absolutely wrong, it's always good not to get into this jidal or mira or argument. It's not necessary. I mean, you will never change everybody in the world. You will never agree with everyone in all things. Even with your brother, your father, your son, you will have disagreement, have different opinions. That's okay, that's fine. Wise people don't pick on things and try to correct everything they hear. And that's, I found this actually to be true, and especially among the students of knowledge, and those who always try to show that they have more knowledge and they know. And I personally, as a speaker for last 17 years, sometimes after khutbah, some people come and argue. And I always ask, are you asking you want to debate or you want to know my opinion? If you want to know my opinion, this is my opinion. I'm not here to argue. If you like it, take it. If you don't like it, you don't have to. But debating for the sake of debating is always not good. I remember one time at Masjid Dix, we were praying Qiyam once a month, Thursday evening. After Isha, we spend time, we have a lecture and then we pray Qiyam and Witr together. And I announced this after Jum'ah, and someone came to me and he said, Imam, this is bid'ah. I said, what's bid'ah? He said that to pray tahajjud or qiyam in jama'ah. And I said, okay, don't come then. He said, yeah, but you should not do this. I said, okay, you don't come. You decide for yourself what you want to do. I don't believe it's bid'ah. Are you telling me that if you go home, stay home, everybody that's good, that's sunnah, and coming together, staying in the masjid and praying is bid'ah? He said, yes, because this and that, and the Prophet never done this is bid'ah. I said, okay, brother, I'm not going to argue. If you want to come, you are more than welcome. If you don't want to come, don't come, but we will come. Okay? That's the end of the story. You don't have to keep arguing this because there's no need for that. In the hadith also, مَا ضَلَّ قَوْمٌ بَعْدَ أَنْ هَدَاهُمُ اللَّهِ إِلَّا أُوتُوا الْجَدَلَ. No community that has been misguided after it has been guided, unless that they have been giving this argumentative attitude. This is what happened to all the followers of the Prophet, Jews, Christians, and Muslims. They have divided themselves into groups and into sects, and each one like to argue and to prove that they are right and everybody else is wrong. That's a sign of destruction. A sign of destruction. These people cannot be one community. Rasulullah raised one community with all their differences. You believe in Allah, you pray 5 times, you read the Quran, and you follow the Prophet, you face the Qibla, you fast in Ramadan, and that's more than enough. You will have different interpretations, different opinions. You don't have to keep criticizing everybody else. You have so many things to do other than criticizing others. If you're going to criticize everyone you disagree with, then you'll criticize every individual, not only every group or every community. Don't waste your time arguing and criticizing others. There are hundreds, thousands of religions, and philosophies, and sects, and movements, and tariqas, and madhabs. Just understand your religion as much as you can, and then just apply what you learn. Apply what you learn. You don't have to debate others and show. I don't like these people always trying to correct everybody in the role they pray in. Yeah, you pray, and if you see someone is not praying a different way, you don't have to criticize them. They are following different method. And those who always preach about others, how bad others are, they're wrong. as if he's giving the absolute truth. Imam Anas, Malik ibn Anas, one of the great Imams, the founder of the Maliki Madhab, said, ليس هذا الجدال من الدين. This kind of jidal is not from our deen. And again, in the old days, people used to support their madhahib and criticize others, and you can imagine the time of Imam Ghazali and also before. You enter the mosque in the Basra or the Kufa and you find people debating Shafi'i, Maliki, and Hanbali, and Hanafi, and tafsir, and theology, and philosophy, and debating. Debate was almost part of the Islamic culture. People reach this high level of intellectual level, I mean, in law and theology. And these madhahib and schools, even schools in grammar, you always spend a lot of time debating and writings, a lot of writings about it. That Imam Ghazali was one of them. Before he wrote Ihya Ulumuddin, he was one of them. We spent a lot of time debating, responding to other madhahib. And then he found it's a waste of time. You're going to spend your entire life writing about this and about that and responding to this and showing the mistakes of this. That's mira and jidal. If someone wants to learn, have a question, then come and ask a question and get the answer. If you like it, follow it. If you don't like it, that's it. But coming and debating and showing that others are wrong is not part of our religion. When Al-Quran talked about al-jidal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. If you have to do jidal with non-Muslims, then you have to do jidal, but in the best way possible, not to win the debate, not to enter a debate for the sake of beating your opponents, but jidal to clarify the truth, right? And some ulama used to do this. They used to make this argument or jidal, or debate, again to show the truth, answer questions, not to win the debate. And this is something we really need to keep in mind, that we don't want to fall into this category. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah talked to Dawood al-Ta'i. Dawood al-Ta'i was also one of the scholars, great scholars at his time. And he said, why did you, Imam Abu Hanifa asked him, why did you prefer to stay home and not coming to circles of knowledge? And he said, because I want to discipline myself, not to get into jidal. Because every time I go and attend one of these circles, and then I get into this jidal or mujadala. Then Abu Hanifa said, no, you should come, attend, listen, but don't speak. That will solve the problem. Right? The solution is not to stay home. Let's come. Listen, but you don't have to speak. And Dawood al-Ta'i said, I have done this, and I didn't find anything more difficult than this. To sit, listen to something that you disagree with, and just remain silent. It's not easy. Imam Dawood al-Ta'i said that was extremely difficult. And sometimes it's torture. Imagine someone who's very knowledgeable, and he listens to a khutbah, and the khatib does not know really what he's talking about. And everything he says is almost wrong. And this scholar sitting, listen to this, that is a torture for him. Sometimes Friday khutbah is torture. And when you are listening and you're just holding your tongue and you're not responding, it is not easy. And sometimes when we're sitting in social gatherings and someone says something you don't like, something you disagree with, let go. Let go. You don't have to just debate and prove that he's wrong and you're right. You don't have to do that. Okay, so what? So what? He said the best way to travel from here to there is to go through this and that. But that's a much easier way. So, sometimes people don't take it, don't tolerate that sometimes someone criticizes them. So that will leave sometimes something in their hearts. Next is obviously al-fuhsh wa bada'at al-lisan. Another one of the harms of the tongue, that al-fuhsh or tafahush means that we talk about immoral and shameful things. We talk openly about things that we should not address openly or in public. And this is what many people like to talk about wine, and talk about women and sexualities in public. That's also very harmful. إياكم والفحش فإن الله تعالى لا يحب الفحش ولا التفحش. Allah does not like these immoral talks, talking about sins openly. And in fact, in some movies, most of the movies now, there must be something fuhsh in a movie. When you watch a movie, then it's very normal to find two people in the bed. That's fuhsh. And the fact that should not be shown in public. That's fahisha. And we should not talk about fahisha, or of course do fahisha, or do it in public. So talking about these things, or writing about it, and laughing about it is harmful, and it is haram, and we should not talk about it. ليس المؤمن بالطعان ولا اللعان ولا الفاحش ولا البذيء. These are 5 things that are done by the tongue. The believer is not ta'an. Ta'an means accusing others in their absence. Wala la'an. He's not the one who curses. Right? Does not curse. Wala al-fahish. Does not say immoral or unethical words that people should not talk about in public. Wala al-badhi. Al-badha also is saying that negative and bad, harmful words. The believer is not like this. And he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to Aisha, Ya Aisha, لو كان الفحش رجلا لكان رجل سوء. If fuhsh, again, fuhsh is saying or doing shameful things. If it was a man, if this fuhsh was a man, he would have been a very bad, evil person. Al-Quran Al-Kareem talked about intimate and sexual relationship between, but when you look at the words Al-Quran used, it gives the meaning without directly talking about it. Without directly, it's giving some hints. You understand exactly what it is, but using words that's not very direct. Right? وَالَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ فخلق منها زوجها فلما تغشاها حملت حملا خفيفا فمرت به ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. They ask you about menstruation. Tell them that it's harmful. So, stay away from women during this period. It's أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. And many other things that the Quran talked about in an indirect way. The Quran that we recite in the mosque are men and women. And we don't feel embarrassed talking about it, right? But using this direct words, fahisha, and all these words that people now, like F word, now American talk every day, it is, if someone says 10 words, 4 or 5 of them will be the F word. Now in movies, even presidents and governors, and they say this is not shameful. It is shameful. And as you can see, that American people born and raised here, that are in their 60s or 70s, they say these words, it was a big sin to say these words like 50 years ago or 40 years ago. Now, kids, teachers, professors, presidents, mayors, politicians, they say these words. That's not shameful anymore. In every movie. Now, almost every movie, I can say that, all 99% of the movies, these words are there. It's and if you don't say it, what's wrong with you? Why are you not saying this? You know what the president said, about these football players who kneel down just during. You don't remember what he said? Just fire this son of out. When the president of a big country says this, And that's bad, that's evil, that's wrong. But now when the shameful words have become normal, that everybody says it. No, we as Muslims, we don't say these words. Because it's shameful. It's fahisha. That's what fahisha actually means. Even if these fahisha words have been normalized. And there's so many fahisha now being normalized, and homosexuality. It's fahisha. Everybody knows fahisha. And that transgender issue, transgender thing, it's like a man decides to be a woman. It's freedom. Okay, it's freedom, but still fahisha. We consider it fahisha. You have the right to do whatever you want. Okay, you cannot force anybody to stop what he wants or she wants. But my understanding is that you are either male or female. It's a genetic thing, chromosomes. It's natural, you are either male or female. If a male wants to turn himself to a female, or vice versa, and our people are doing this, not transgender. People differentiate between sex and gender. Sex is one thing and gender is something else. So a man can be a woman for a week and then goes back to be a man. There's nothing wrong with that. So John can go to work and say, I'm Christy today, and dress like a woman and put, it's freedom. What? You call it freedom, call it whatever you want. But that's fahisha. And zina is fahisha. Quran called zina fornication. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَاحِشَةً وَسَاءَ سَبِيلًا. Don't even come close from this adultery, because it's fahisha. The Quran says that. Quran called it fahish. Now they call it dating. No. Give every fahisha term a nice modern term. It's freedom, consensual. Right? Dating. It's fahisha. Let's call things with its right name. That's called fahisha. Talking about it, normalizing it, that's also, even talk about it is a sin. Another harm of the harms of tongue is al-mizah, laughing, making jokes. Sometimes it's okay to make a joke, to make people laugh, that's to be funny, to have a sense of humor. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is that sometimes we make jokes by making fun of people. Right? Making fun of others to make people laugh. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us that people would make fun of, so someone make people laugh, saying some words just to make people laugh. And these words are fahisha, or making fun of someone just to make people laugh. And he thinks it's okay, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a story that happened that one of the Bedouin guys was riding his camel, and his camel was very tough, very difficult to lead. And then he tried to come closer from the Prophet to ask him a question, and then every time he comes closer, he says, Salaam alaikum Rasulullah, and then the camel runs away, and everybody laughed. And then he tried to control his camel, to bring in Salaam alaikum Rasulullah, and then and everybody laughs. And this happened a number of times, and finally he fell down and he died. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, this man died. And he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and your mouths are full of his blood. Because you laughed at him. He's trying to come, but his camel was kind of difficult to lead, and you were laughing at him. So he died, and your mouths are full of his blood. And it happens all the time. Now when you see these funny videos, when people fall down, everybody else laughs. If nobody's falling down, you just need to go and help. Someone riding a bike or something, and then he boom, falls down, and everybody laughs at him. Maybe just go and help, instead of laughing at someone. Someone slides and falls down. إن الرجل يتكلم بالكلمة يضحك بها جلساءه يهوي في النار أبعد من الثريا. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a man would say a word to make his friends laugh, he would fall down in the hellfire. Distance bigger than the distance between here and the earth, the heaven and the earth. To make people, sometimes people want to make people just look cool and funny and say anything. Rasulullah ﷺ had a sense of humor, and as you mentioned before, it's okay to joke with people, but even when you joke, you say nothing but the truth. When this man came to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, I need a ride, give me a camel. And the Prophet said, I will give you a son of a camel. He said, I'm traveling far away, and what would I do with the son of a camel? And Rasulullah said, every camel is the son of a camel. So, right? So it's fun, it's a joke, but he did not lie, he did not make fun of the man. And he liked to smile, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Most of the time, he didn't seem to smile. But again, and sometimes people make fun of the Quran, make fun of Islam or Jannah. Oh, and in Christianity here it's very common. Oh, this man died and then he talked to God and God told him, why you do this? Because, and then he make fun of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not fun. That's not funny. It's not fine to make a joke about the Quran, about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or about Allah, about hell and heaven, the angels of hell and angels of heaven. There are plenty of jokes, hundreds of jokes. Go on the internet and find jokes about God and about hell and heaven. All these things are tons of jokes. And people like to say this, even in church sometimes. And people laugh about it. The munafiqeen, when they used to curse the Prophet and say, make fun of the Sahaba, and the Quran says, وَإِن سَأَلْتَهُمْ لَيَقُولُنَّ إِنَّمَا كُنَّا نَخُوضُ وَنَلْعَبُ. If you ask them what they said, oh, we're just joking. قُلْ, Quran says, قُلْ أَبِاللَّهِ وَآيَاتِهِ وَرَسُولِهِ كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. You're making fun and joking about Allah and His Messenger and His ayat. You didn't find anything else to joke about except these things. Of course, they're trying to hide their sins, but Quran told them that you are making fun or joke about Allah and His ayat and His Messenger. It's not funny to make jokes about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or about the Quran and about the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Astaghfirullah al-azim wa natubu ilayh. Joking too much also is not right. Yes, the Prophet ﷺ, as we mentioned, he has a sense of humor and makes these jokes sometimes. But if you keep joking and joking and joking all the time, imagine if a scholar keep joking all the time. People could look him as a scholar, because scholars don't do that. Yes, from time to time joke, but if joke all the time is not right. Another incident when a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ, she said that my husband invites you. He said, who is your husband? Is the one who has whiteness in his eyes? And she said, no, there's no whiteness in his eyes. And the Prophet said, everyone has white in his eyes. Because she understood that his entire eye is white, like he's white. The son of Abu Talha, his name is Abu Umayr, and Abu Umayr, he has a young bird, right? And the Prophet one day he saw this young boy and said, Ya Abu Umayr, ma fa'al al-Nughayr? What happened to your bird? He was joking with a young boy, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he raised his wife Aisha. He said, let's go and race. And they run. Imagine Rasulullah running with his wife, racing. Yeah, the Prophet he knows his family also needs some fun, some activities and running and playing. That's good from time to time. And first time she won the race, and later on she gained some weight, and he said, okay, 1 for 1. So another incident when Aisha radiallahu anha said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was with me in my house, and then Sauda, and she did something like harira. It's called like a thick soup.
Yeah.
Harira. Harira, yeah. And she brought this harira, and the Prophet ﷺ was sitting, Aisha and Sauda sitting there, and then Sauda said, Aisha said to Sauda, just eat. And Sauda said, no, I don't like it. Aisha said, no, you must eat. And Sauda said, no, I don't like it, I'm not going to eat it. And Aisha said, if you don't eat from it, I'll smash your face with it. And Sauda said, no, I'm not going to eat. And Aisha got like a handful of it and boom, on the face of Sauda. In the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alayhi salatu wassalam. And then Rasulullah sallam gave the plate to Sauda and said, okay, do to her what she did to you. They kept throwing this hair on the face of each other, and the Prophet sallam laughing in between. Mizah and sense of humor is good. It's okay to have fun when you are playing with your wife or your children. That's good. Another incident when a person was named Abu Sufyan al-Kilabi. Abu Sufyan al-Kilabi was very ugly. Has a very ugly face. That's a very nice joke. And then when he came and became Muslim, he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, Ya Rasulullah, that's in front of Aisha. He said, I have two beautiful wives. If you want, I can divorce one of them and you marry her. And Aisha was there, that before hijab. And Aisha, of course, got mad at this. This man is offering one of his two beautiful wives to the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, I have two beautiful wives. If you want, I can divorce one of them and you can marry her. And Aisha said, she could not hold herself. She said, that is she more beautiful than you? Of course, she's very sarcastic. Is she more beautiful or you? Who's more beautiful, you or her? And the Prophet ﷺ laughed at her because he knows that he doesn't look good. And the Prophet ﷺ used to play with Al-Hasan, son of Ali, his grandson. So he would get his tongue out and play with his. So Al-Hasan laughs. And then the Prophet does it again. He gets his tongue out and alayhi salatu wassalam. Suhaib al-Rumi, one day he had, it was armat, he has, some illness in his eye. And he was sitting with them and he was eating date. And the Prophet ﷺ said, you are eating date while you have this ramat in your eyes? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, I eat it with my mouth, not with my eyes. And everybody laughed. And there are many other stories. The Prophet ﷺ, again, used to make jokes and laugh with his Sahaba, but again, they are saying nothing but the truth. And again, the other day, he was eating with Ali ibn Abi Talib, a plate of date came, and Ali was eating, and he puts the seed of the date in front of him, and the Prophet ﷺ eats, and he put the seed in front of Ali. So now we have this pile of seeds in front of Ali and nothing in front of the Prophet. And while they're speaking, the Prophet said, oh Ali, you ate the whole date? Because all the seeds are in front of Ali. And Ali said, Ya Rasulullah, you eat the date with its seeds? So, the last thing today is mocking people, making fun of people. This is also one of the harms of the tongue. The Quran Kareem was very clear about this. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن. Oh, you have believed, do not make fun of others. Perhaps they are better than you. And let Muslim women also not to mock or make fun of other women. Perhaps the later are better than the former. Abdullah ibn Zam'a radiallahu anhu said, I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam giving a speech, and he actually talked about those who laugh when a voice comes from someone by mistake. You know, sometimes people sitting and someone, you know, gas comes out with a sound. So people laugh. And the Prophet said, why would you laugh at this? In the meeting of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nothing of the faults of the people are narrated or is narrated. And the Prophet said, why would you laugh when something like this happened? Okay? That again, it's shameful. And if you hear it, ignore it. And it was narrated that Umar radiallahu anhu was leading the prayer, and this happens, you know, sounds happen. And after Salah, Umar radiallahu anhu said, عزمت على من فعل هذا أن يذهب ويتوضأ. I asked the one who did this, or this sound came out of him, to go and make wudu. And one of the Sahaba who was younger than Umar, and Umar was the Khalifa at that time, he said, Umar, I have another opinion. He said, why this? He said that if I were you, I would have said that I would ask everyone who heard this sound to go and make wudu. You see? So when Umar said, I asked the one who did this to go and make wudu, if he stood up and went, everybody know it was him. Right? But this Sahabi said, oh Umar, I have another opinion. He said, why? He said, I want you to, if I were you, I would have said, everyone who heard this sound, go and make wudu. And Umar said, yes, you are right. You are absolutely, your opinion is much better than mine. Everyone who heard this, go and make wudu. So when you have like 15, 20 people going to make wudu and coming back, and he's one of them, nobody knows who did what. Right? So don't make fun of people. Okay? Sukhriya is prohibited in Islam. In the hadith on Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man ayyara akhahu bidhanbin qad taba minhu lam yamut hatta ya'malhu." If you remind and keep reminding your brother about something that he has done in the past and he repented from it, you will not die until you do it yourself. Someone was known as a thief, and he repented and he became a good Muslim. And every time, oh, you are the one who used to steal this and that. Oh, you're in the past, your father, by the way, he used to do this. I mean, keep reminding him this. You will not die until you do this thing. In other words, it's better not to remind people of their faults and remind them of their mistakes. In the hadith also, the Prophet ﷺ said that those who used to make fun of people, right? A door of the heaven will be open for them, and it will be said to them, come, come, and he will come with all his distress and anxiety, and when he comes closer, it will be closed in his face. And another one will be open. It will be said to him, come. He will go all the way, and then until he comes closer from it, it will be closed on his face. And so on and so on. Making fun of people is, and sometimes we do this by mistake. We say, oh, this man, the short, oh, this is the fat guy. Oh, yeah, this man, I know that, who is handicapped or something. Oh, this guy does not know how to speak. This guy is deaf. No, you don't have to mention these things. That's also concern. Aisha radiallahu anha said that one day I was talking to the Prophet, so I mocked someone. It imitated how he speaks or how she walks. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, I do not like to do this even if I'm given such and such. I don't like this. I don't like this. Make fun of someone. Perhaps this someone is better in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than you. So who are you to make fun of someone else? I will stop here inshallah and we'll continue the rest of the harms of the tongue next week inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any comment or question? Yes?
You mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ said that if you made a joke, you'd be falling like from the sky to the earth.
No, he said the one who makes people laugh by saying something wrong or making fun of someone to make people laugh or backbite someone to make people laugh. So making people laugh could be halal, could be haram. We mentioned examples of halal jokes.
Right.
But if someone makes a joke about Allah, about the Prophet, about the Quran, about the Day of Judgment, or he makes a joke by backbiting someone, people will laugh. And there are no comics, stand-in comics. People are professional comedians. They are professional. And some of them, I don't know if you got to listen to some of these stand comics. Someone may hold a microphone and make people laugh. This is his job. And they know, oh, I met God yesterday and I told him and God told me and I told him and what are you talking about? So he makes people laugh, but through haram talk. This is what the hadith meant. But if you make people laugh with good jokes like that we mentioned, there's nothing wrong with that. Allah Ta'ala alam. And some of these people, by the way, are very, very effective. I'm not going to mention names, but someone who passed away, he was extremely effective. He is one of the pioneers of stand comics. And he's anti-religion, he's atheist. And he talks very negatively about God. And makes fun of all religions, makes fun of all theologies and beliefs. And he does not believe this life after death and God and Creator and church and all. Here in Christian culture, making fun of God is okay. It's freedom of speech. There are some commercials on TV that Jesus was considered God. Some, going and using some stuff and things. Or Jesus himself using it. So someone dressed like Jesus and goes and buys this. And also all these candid cameras and scare tactics and all these things. They show priests or nuns and then they make fun of them. And that's why many people say, what's wrong with Muslims? Why are they so sensitive? Why we cannot make fun of Muhammad or make fun of... No, you don't understand. It's a totally different story. Here in Christianity, you can make fun of God, that's freedom of speech, that's fine, so what? But for us, we don't make fun of our prophets, all of them. If you make a bad joke about Muhammad or a bad joke about Jesus or a bad joke about Moses, it's the same. It's unacceptable. These people would respect them more than our parents. We love them and respect them more than our parents. You cannot make fun of them. And that's why people ask, what's wrong with these Danish cartoons that portray Muhammad as, make fun of him. We make fun of our presidents, we make fun of our God, Jesus. So why are you so sensitive to this? No, you need to understand that every culture has its own sensitive issues. You don't want to really touch upon them. Here in America, you have freedom of speech, but you cannot talk about racism. This race is better than that race. Or this person is because it's this or is that. You cannot say that. Otherwise, you lose your job. Yeah, freedom of speech has a limit. And every culture has its own sensitive issues, so you have to be careful. Going? Yes, sir.
In Jidal arguments, two people are involved, right? Two groups are involved. One is provocating and other is responding.
One is what?
one is provocating, like, asking like something, and the other is responding. So it goes on, like, it doesn't end. So in this case, like, both are bad, both people are bad, both groups are bad.
Or debating something?
No, he's saying if one group is provoking something,
Provoking?
the other is responding, are they equally bad? Or is only the one who's provoking bad?
Well, you have to make your judgment based on the situation. Is the provocation is about, again, Allah and His Messenger and about Islam, then you have the responsibility to respond. And when you respond, okay, I've seen so many cases when someone makes a very wrong mistake. Someone called a thinker, Muslim thinker. Now, this Muslim thinker is a very general term. Everybody can be a Muslim thinker. Who claim that Masjid al-Aqsa is not in Jerusalem. Masjid al-Aqsa is somewhere else. So, how stupid this argument is. Very stupid. Very, it does not even deserve responding to it. Okay? And it's called philosopher and thinker. And some people very politely responded to it. Okay, from scientific perspective, no, there are plenty of evidence that Masjid al-Aqsa is the one in Jerusalem. Because of 1, 2, 3, 4, without cursing him, without giving him names, without, but because newspapers wrote about this, and that became over there. So some scholars responded very politely, and others start cursing and giving names and things so. Those few people responded very politely with strong evidence, actually are much more effective. Much more effective. Cursing is the job of everybody. Anybody can curse. You don't have to be a scholar to curse, right? But it takes a scholar to respond intellectually. Alright? Listen to the argument and refute it politely and nicely. With all due respect, I disagree with you because of 1, 2, you said this, 1, 2, 3, and I disagree because... Then you can win the debate without losing the heart of the people. Okay? So if you are in a situation when you see something absolutely wrong and you have knowledge about it, then present your case in a polite way. Again, the goal is not to win the debate, but the goal is to clarify things. Imam Shafi'i said, I've never debated anyone unless I wish Allah puts the truth in his tongue. So he's debating to find the truth. How about this? So what if this happened? So what do you think about this? You are trying to find the truth. So when you listen to someone and you disagree with them, then you need to identify. That's very critical. Sometimes people keep debating and without knowing what's the point of debate. Believe me, I'm not exaggerating. What is the point of disagreement? People talk right and left and discussion goes on, and so what is the point? I want to understand. What's the question? What is the point of disagreement? Sometimes people cannot identify the point of disagreement, and therefore the debate will go on forever and it's useless. And academia is about this. Academia is about identify the question. Okay, this is a debate about this and that. What is the core of the problem? What's the core of the question? It is this point. If you can solve this, then we can clarify it. So you define the point of disagreement and respond to it. And again, to answer your question, I don't know. It depends on the situation. If people argue about games, whose player is better, this player or that player, doesn't matter. It does not even worth spending your time on it. But if sometimes talking about Islam, and Christianity, and Judaism, and someone saying wrong things about the Prophet, and you know it's wrong, and you have the ability to answer, then you have the responsibility to answer it. Allah.
What do you think of those professional debaters on religion? I mean, you can see it on YouTube, online, and they're Muslim, they're Christians.
It's proven as ineffective. There is something in science or in academia called comparative religion. I remember very well when I did my master in Egypt in Cairo University in Islamic philosophy, The professor was teaching us. He said, I just want to emphasize one thing. Don't take these things we discuss here to the public. You give a khutbah or give a lecture. That's not for this. This is, what we don't understand is that sometimes we need to know that we learn this kind of knowledge, comparative religion, not to bring it to public, but rather to talk to other scholars about it. So comparative religion is a science. People have PhD in comparative religions. But to bring this and to make a debate, the first thing when we attack my idea, I will take the defensive mode. Now my goal is to defend myself and my idea. Even if I'm wrong, I'll do everything to protect. So it's me, not the idea. It's my personality, my ego versus your ego. And the ideas are the victims. It's not really about the idea, it's about the ego. But those who are searching for the truth, they keep the ego aside and they focus on the ideas. People now are professional debaters in anything, in politics, in economy, in sports. People debate all the time, but just want to show that they are. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. العصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.